Hey guys, welcome back to Sex with Ace. My name is Solani M and I am the sex conversationalist. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and tuning in. If you're new, please look around your screen. I'm pretty sure there's a red subscribe button somewhere there. Join us and let's tap on it. Join us and let's chat about sex, baby. So in today's video, I wanted to do a vaginal discharge color code like breakdown and discussion. Honestly, you can literally just Google these things. They're on Google, but I'm pretty sure that it's much better to listen to this pretty girl tell you all about it. And I'm also obviously gonna like throw in like my own relation to the different colors and what they've meant for me and whatever. Let's just get into it, okay? There are basically 6 basic colors on this chart. I'm pretty sure there's more colors because like there's variations in terms of shades with any color anyway. So let's just get into it. We have firstly white discharge. I hope we all know what that looks like because that is what healthy discharge looks like. I think my discharge is literally like yogurt white and consistent, quite close to my period, just before my period starts, just before it turns like the brown to the red vibe. It's like whitest like yogurt, like creamy, like what do you call it, plain yogurt white. I think I want to even say the same consistency, but like I think my discharge is much, I don't know, it's not as thick. But yeah, so white discharge is healthy discharge. White discharge could also be yeast infection discharge. I think it gets thicker when you have a yeast infection. It's still white, but it gets like thicker and it changes the odor. It's not a usual odor. It smells a bit strong. When it's thicker, it's like almost cottage cheese thick, or actually cottage cheese thick. That is something to look into if that's like what's going on down there for you. It's white and thick, and it's got an unusual odor. That's something to figure out. It could be a yeast infection. Next color to go to is yellow green. That's what the chart says. Yellow green is just like yellowish, like it's not white, but it's got a hint of yellow, and it doesn't have an odor, you don't feel any symptoms and nothing. That's usually just fine. But like the more yellow to green it is, the more you should worry. And I'm pretty like, I want to guess that it would come along with symptoms if it were doing that, if it were like those colors. So yeah, that's not healthy. It could be a sexually transmitted infection. It's not, yellow is not terrible, but the more the more unusual it is, the more you need to pay attention to it and get it checked out. See a doctor. It could be an STI. Talk to your sexual partners, check out what they're feeling, what's going on for them. Color according to this is red. So the next color according to the chart is red. Red, obviously menstrual cycle, obviously the bleeding, or cervical infection, or cervical polyp, or endometrial or cervical cancer, or implantation bleeding. So there's so many things that you could be bleeding from other than your period. But these things are not like so likely, you know. If your period is unusual, if the bleeding is not what you're used to, these could be the other things causing it. If it's not the date of your period, if it's just unusual, you should worry. But if it's just your usual period, yeah, it's red. It's blood. Yeah. So it could be those things and other things. I'm not really a doctor, guys. I'm just like literally reading on Google. So not on Google, on medical news today. So you can actually access everything I'm saying here as well. It's just I've read about it so much, and also I know from my body I've just, yeah, whatever. So red discharge happens. It's not discharge, it's blood. You're bleeding. It's either your period, it could be so many, it could be other things as well. If the next color is the color pink. When you have pink stuff coming out, pink blood, pink liquids coming out, like little pink blood. And I mean pink blood because like when my period ends, the color of my period becomes pink. It starts to mix, like it's like a mixture of the usual red and the white that I spoke about in the beginning. So it does that, and I'm looking at the shades on the chart. I think the one in the middle there, that's like the color of my period towards the end. The one at the top. Anyway, so this could mean cervical bleeding, vaginal irritation, or implantation bleeding. So I mentioned implantation bleeding on the red because from my own experience, it's red. It's light, like in the sense that it's not a lot of blood, but it's red. However, it could be like yours could be pink. You could see yours as pink, and it could mean implantation bleeding. So I think like you should hold on to implantation bleeding in terms of the red color and the pink color, because even the red color could be implantation bleeding. So pink discharge is, I like think that, okay, so first of all, I can agree that discharge can be pink, pink, the color. But the things that, like the examples they're giving off on the chart, like implantation bleeding, vaginal irritation, cervical bleeding, that's bleeding and blood is red. And so it could come out as red and it could be these things. So when I read this pink, personally, I think light bleeding as well, especially because I know what implantation bleeding looks like. It's bleeding, it's blood. It's just not heavy bleeding, it's very light bleeding. So when I think pink, yeah, sure, I see pink, but at the same time, I think light bleeding. So I'm just like helping you guys navigate the color that the chart is giving us. Yeah, so it could mean those three things, and I think all those, actually it could mean so many things. And I think pink bleeding, like if you're bleeding and it's not your period and it's spotting and it's pink and you don't know what's going on, find out what's going on, because you should, because it's not normal. You shouldn't just be bleeding and it's not your period. You don't bleed for nothing. It could happen because of vaginal irritation. Vaginal irritation is, okay, I bleed from vaginal irritation when I've had sex with a condom. I don't know, it's just very irritating to my vaginal walls and they tear. Yeah, but that's that on that. So yeah, you can get like pink vaginal liquids, and that could mean the things that I've mentioned: cervical bleeding, vaginal irritation, and implantation bleeding. So if that's happening for you, find out what's going on, because if it's a pregnancy, you obviously need to know. If it's vaginal irritation, I don't know if you want to go through that for the rest of your life, but you'd rather find out what's going on and find ways to prohibit that. The other color, that this one is definitely something to worry about, basically gray. When your discharge is gray, something to worry about. It is likely BV, which is bacterial vaginosis. If it is BV, it's usually coupled up with some symptoms like itching, irritation, odor, like a strong odor, or like, what do you call it, or redness like around the vulva or something. So that's BV. If you have gray discharge, check it out, see a doctor, see what's going on. I don't know. I don't have personal experience with gray discharge. I don't know. If you guys do have personal experience with having gray discharge, please drop a comment. Like, tell people, I don't know, maybe somebody needs to see this or hear and know that they like, it's normal. Actually, it's not normal, and just know that it happens and they're okay, and someone in the world is okay who has gone through the same thing. I don't know what BV is. I'll probably find out. Actually, I just know that gray discharge is worrisome. See your doctor, find out what's going on, and get help. That's the lost color, which is obviously awesome. And I can tell you the first time the color is clear discharge. That's the color. The one time I know for sure I will always have clear discharge is like when the sex is beautiful, when it's happening towards the end. That's me, clear. That's when I know for sure. I think also during ovulation, or maybe close to it, like just around. I think like I'm saying ovulation because it's like literally like basically in between, like in the middle of my whole cycle, that the days where I think my discharge is usually clear, because I know it's usually like whitish just before my period and just after. I know, and then I know it gets lighter throughout the session into dark white. Dark white is so funny, into a clearer crystal white, that vibe. So maybe like ovulation days, mine is clear. It's also like very egg whitey texture wise, and that's perfectly healthy. You should be having discharge that clear in your cycle. You should know what that is like having. In conclusion of this video, I just wanted to say that, guys, it's important to see doctors for your health, your sexual health, your vaginal health. I'm particularly talking to women today, and I know you guys, like, based on information, women do like take their health more seriously, but I just thought I should speak to it. See a doctor, take tests, make sure you know what's going on with your life, with your health. It's really not safe in the world sexually, in the sense that there are diseases. We know the stats. Outside of diseases, like I think like health as a whole is just necessary. That's why, like I always say, like I'm pro self-preservation, and when I say stuff like that, I mean making sure you're healthy as a human being, because that's the only way you preserve yourself. So you should totally seek medical, and this is also, guys, there's like I feel like I need to hold space for people who are unable to get medical assistance or quality medical assistance. I am one of those people. Financially, I'm not there, but I think it's very important. Like, do your tests, go to clinics, do the best that you can if you can. A person should be able to seek medical care for vaginal symptoms such as itching, pain or discomfort, discharge that's frothy or like cottage cheese, bleeding between periods or after menopause, spotting after sex regularly, gray, green or yellow discharge, a strong odor, a burning sensation during urination. Those things are things to be checked out, I don't know if you should necessarily see a doctor. Like I said in the beginning of the video, literally the internet has everything these days, guys. So I mean, like, people always say, oh, don't trust the internet, and they're right, but like I just feel like everyone, like even doctors, are basically the internet, in the sense that like the information they read and everything they learn is literally on the internet. And so it was carefully curated for the profession. I feel like I can carefully curate any information to accommodate my body personally. And that, like, I'm a medical aid baby. I grew up on a medical aid, and ever since I've been offered, I've had to take time to really be the one speaking for my body, not hearing other people speak for it. And it's been fine. It's been fine. I've been taking care of myself. I'm okay. I'm good. Especially my vaginal health. That's, I think I have the most normal cycle just generally. But I have experienced some of these things, and every time it's ever happened, I have seen a doctor, and it has been something that needed to be checked out. That is it from me, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my damn channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.